Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, you will learn about finding your identity. Now, I got a couple notes over here that I'll kind of refer to, but as I was breaking everything down over the course of a couple years after going through cancer and going through the treatment, it was important to start working into understanding who I was. This breaking myself down psychologically to a point to where, as I was rebuilding and creating that new foundation, I was really starting to learn about myself and about who I was. And I started asking really kind of tough questions for myself, or about myself, like, who would I be, if I wasn't a snowboarder, or I wasn't involved in construction, or even if I am a cancer survivor. Without these things, what was my identity? What am I? Who am I? And I had to really kind of strip, strip the banana peel or the orange peel, essentially, and kind of start getting down to the meat of some really important aspects in my life, and especially in who I was. So I was asking these really, really tough questions, and understanding my identity was just as important as understanding my why, or the four W's I talk about in my book also. And as I started to kind of work through those, I was rebuilding and recreating a new foundation that I could kind of start working on and start building upon. And over time, I have really kind of grown into who I am and what I'm about and what I want to do, right? And as that whole bit was really kind of moving and morphing, I had to figure out why this was, because I felt like I needed to have some acceptance in certain areas of my life. And it wasn't that I didn't feel accepted by family or by my peers. It was more acceptance of myself, and accepting who I was and what I wanted to do, especially after cancer, because I had a lot of questions and a lot of fear moving forward as a survivor. And it was there's parts and times, even though I was kind of working through this, and I did feel pretty invisible to my peers, and to my family even. And these are just feelings that I had. That probably wasn't necessarily the case, but I was acknowledging the fact that there were some areas in my life that I really needed to work on. And by starting to ask these questions, I was able to start moving forward and start figuring out these difficult things that were going on in my head, and in my feelings also. And it took a lot more than just my pure gut and my determination. I did do counseling, and I did things that needed some professional help to kind of help guide me in that little period of time. And as it kind of moved and worked forward, I was able to start piecing together the thoughts and understanding the emotions that I was going through and the feelings that I was having, so that I could start really even compartmentalizing a little bit certain parts and aspects of my life, and then start working on those, and making them better, and making them kind of work for me in my situation. By doing this, and this took a long time, but by doing this, it really started to help me understand what it was I was looking for. And that was just trying to find that peace that I was so hoping to find. And I knew it wasn't going to take a day or a week or a month. It was going to take a good rest of my life to really figure it out. But as I kept working on it, the closer I was getting to the feelings and the emotions that were leading me to have peace in my life. And as time has gone on, I am now at a point where I really do feel pretty good about where things are at. And there's always going to be challenges, and there's always going to be obstacles to keep jumping over and to keep working on, right? And you just have to, at some point, kind of drop that armor that you have, and you have to let your vulnerabilities come out and start to adapt to what it is that's going on. And you can then start kind of rebuilding that armor and kind of create a new way of building yourself back up. My journey is obviously going to be a little bit different than yours, but I wanted to kind of share kind of my experience with it, because it is possible, and it is a journey that you will have to take, and that you will end up really, really appreciating as you kind of move forward, and as you take the time to kind of work through these identity issues that you might be facing. And there's a good chance you may not be facing them like I did, but I needed for myself to really, like I said, drop that armor, peel the layers back, and really start understanding who I was, to grow and to kind of make myself really vulnerable to allow the growth to happen that I was looking for. So I hope this is something that kind of help make sense to you, and let you know that there is people going through this, and that they have gone through it, and it just takes time and it takes some effort. But if you stick with it and you keep kind of moving forward and you keep pushing yourself forward with it, it can be used as a learning experience. And if you keep in that same mindset of growth and keep working on it, you will start to see some amazing positive things, and next thing you know, opportunities will open up. And as long as you keep kind of working on making good decisions for everything that goes on in your life, thank you so much for listening to this one. This has kind of been a weird one for me, and I've been thinking about this for the last couple days, and I wanted to just kind of mull it over a little bit before I really recorded this, because I really think once you start figuring out your identity, and then start asking those important questions like, what is your why, and where do you want to go? Parts of my book in the chapter, the 4 W's, really can kind of start you down that process of really building out that next step of peeling back those layers and helping you drop that armor, and start asking those tough questions about what your identity is, and who you are, and what you want to become. So awesome. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, hit me in the link below, or hit me in the comment section below. And if you like my channel, subscribe, hit the button to subscribe. And I appreciate your time and listening and hearing me through the channel. And I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. So thanks again, guys.